My name is John Duggan, and I am the Director of Real Estate and Retail Subsidiary Operations for Reliant Medical Group. Reliant Medical Group is a multi-specialty group practice in central Massachusetts. We have roughly 250 providers in 15 clinical locations and employ about 1,300 staff. This is my second tour of duty with the organization, and back in the 90s, the then Fallon Clinic was going through a fairly aggressive growth strategy with our insurance partner, Fallon Community Health Plan, and we were putting up 2 or 3 buildings per year, and we were looking for a new and different and non-traditional nurse call system. And after going through an RFP process and talking to folks like Signet and Rowland Board, etc., and getting users involved, and everybody came into demo, Expeditor rose to the top as our product of choice. And we used them in our ambulatory settings. We brought them when we built Worcester Medical Center in 97 to 2000 into that facility for our specialty practice. And the hospital at that point was so impressed with the system that they actually put the Expeditor's ED system into the brand new emergency room. We embarked about 2 years ago on developing a new facility in Holden, where we have a small family practice unit that we felt could handle growth and was in the right market to handle that growth. And in looking at that, we, at the same time, were embarking on a lean transformation for the organization. And we really wanted something to respond to our new way of delivering our practice to our patients that allowed us to have visual management, that allowed us to use technology that made it easier and more convenient for staff and providers to understand for where they were to go next. So we replaced the lights on the wall with a dome over the door, all having some sort of meaning to them, or a combination has some meaning to them. In that flashing white means the room needs to be clean, and flashing red needs doctor come here next, and solid blue means the doctor's in the room, and I forget what the other combinations do, but the nurses and not really so much the nurses, but the MAs can sit at their station or be in the hallway and either look at their screen or look down the hallway and understand where they need to go next. And I think that's a little bit of an important point in that when I say MAs, we still employ nurses to do a lot for us, but a majority of the healthcare delivered in the room is done by medical assistants who do the weigh-in, who do the vitals, etc. That then allows the nurses to handle the more critical calls that come in terms of my son's got a strep throat or a scratchy throat, what do I do? Do more nurse triage, which then allows the doctor to be more efficient to see more patients. So it's a little bit of a ripple effect. I think we really found that Expeditor, the system is very flexible in terms of designing what we need for that specific site. We recently took what we did with Holden and applied it to our new cancer center that we are renting space in. But again, the cancer center folks decided they didn't want the flat screens. They felt that it didn't work for their model, but they did want the domes over the doors and over the examiners, etc., so they could understand what's going on that way. So it really provides a lot of flexibility, and the reporting, which we're going to develop going forward, will allow us to measure the success of the program in terms of how long the patient is in the room, how long the MA is in the room, and not to use that in a disciplinary or a negative fashion. But in the world of lean, you're always looking at constant. It's constant improvement. It's plan, do, check, act, and it's a constant circle of just looking at what you're doing all the time to make sure you're doing it correctly and tweaking that as you go forward. But I think our aha moment came when I was walking our CEO through I was actually meeting him at the Holden site, at the old Holden site, and we were going to go out to visit the new Holden site. And we had just finished installing the system. They've been using it for about 2 weeks. And he's standing there behind the MAs, and he's seeing the buttons and everything and how it works on their PCs. And he's like, "That's cool." He said, "That is lean at its best moments." And that it's technology, it's simple, it's constantly being improved, and it makes staff and patient life easier. I think we have found Expeditor to be very responsive to our needs. I like to say that we are demanding, but we're fair. We understand, and when we look for people to do business with, I have a philosophy that mistakes are going to happen, and my judgment of that organization is how do they handle those mistakes when they do occur. And if they handle it and say, okay, this is what we're going to do to fix it, and they do what they say they're going to do, then I'm a happy person. And I've found this to be true throughout the years with Expeditor. In trying to improve patient satisfaction, one of the metrics that our KPO, our lean team came up with, and we had physicians on the committee who agreed to it, that we would measure and look to improve how long the patients were in the exam room. And also look and measure how long it took the room to get cleaned, how long the MA was in the room, and again, not in a punitive way, but in a way that says, okay, what can we do to make these metrics better so that the patient has a better experience? When we implemented lean, and we didn't change the nurse call system out when we were doing this up at our Leominster family practice, at the end of the day, after some renovations and some changes in scheduling and some other operational issues, the patient wait time went from the time you registered to the time you entered the exam room went from 33 minutes to 6. Our telephone metrics, the abandonment rate went from 15% to 3%. Patient satisfaction is the second highest in the organization. Staff and provider satisfaction is the highest in the organization. So it very clearly has some positive impact across the board. Lean came out of it's a Japanese Japanese-based process that came out of Toyota, and in some worlds it was in the manufacturing world known as the Toyota production system. It was very clearly, and they are supposed to be the gurus at it, instituted at Virginia Mason in Washington State, and it is all about removal of waste, constant improvement, in empowering staff, at least in the manufacturing world, to stop production if they see something wrong on the production line. It very clearly was a top-down discussion and a bottom-up implementation. One of the things that process and lean has been very clear to me about is, from a construction and a renovation standpoint, it is crucial that the entire team that's working for me, architects, engineers, contractors, vendors, understand what the end game is for that unit. What are they trying to achieve? What are the processes that are in place? So that as we go forward and we build the unit, we understand that the changes we make and how they're going to affect how that unit delivers their service.